You think death is something far away, something that happens later to someone else, at some distant point in the future, a moment marked by finality, by silence, by the closing of a door that can never be reopened. But what if I told you that moment isn't waiting for you at the end of your life? What if death isn't something that happens to you once, but something that is happening right now? Not in the way you might expect, not in some sudden collapse, not in a tragic accident, not in a dramatic, earth-shattering event. No, death is far more subtle than that. It moves quietly, slipping through the cracks of your existence, dissolving the present into the past, erasing who you were just a moment ago. Every breath you take is a trade. You gain another second of life, but at the cost of the one before it. Every day that passes is a day you will never touch again, a life you have already lived, a version of yourself that is now nothing more than a memory. Your thoughts, your emotions, your dreams, each one fading as soon as it arrives. You are not the same person you were a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. That person is gone. Their hopes, their fears, their ambitions, all of them buried beneath the weight of time. And yet, you don't notice. You don't notice because you were taught to think of death as something with a clear beginning and a clear end. You imagine it as a singular event, something you can prepare for, something that will come knocking only when your time is up. But the truth is, death isn't waiting. It isn't patient. It isn't some distant figure standing at the edge of your life. It is here, now. It is breathing down your neck as you listen to these words. It is in the moments you waste, in the time you take for granted, in the things you say you'll do someday, but never do. And the strangest part, death is not your enemy. It is not something to be feared, but something to be understood. It is a whisper, a presence that has followed you since the moment you were born. It is asking you a question that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Are you truly living, or are you just waiting to die? We have been taught to see time as a straight line, an unbreakable chain of moments stretching from birth to death, a path that moves in only one direction, carrying us toward an inevitable end. But what if time isn't what we think it is? What if past, present, and future are nothing more than constructs, illusions created by the mind to make sense of something far more fluid, far less certain? Think about it. The past only exists in your memory. The future is nothing more than a thought, an expectation. The only thing that is real is this moment, right now. But even this moment is slipping through your fingers. By the time you recognize now, it has already become then. You are not moving toward death. You are not walking down some predetermined road with an endpoint marked by fate. No, the truth is far more unsettling. Death is not ahead of you. Death is happening, right here, right now. Every second that passes is not just another step forward, it's a step deeper into the void. Every breath you take is a silent exchange, one more moment of life at the cost of another moment lost forever. You are constantly shedding versions of yourself, leaving behind ghosts of who you used to be. The child you once were, gone. The person you were last year, dead. Even the thoughts you had just minutes ago, faded, erased, never to return. You are dying every second. And yet, you don't feel it. Because you were conditioned to think that death is a singular event, a sudden collapse, a final heartbeat. But death is not waiting for you at the finish line. It is moving through you, around you, within you, always. And if time is an illusion, then what does that make death? You don't notice it, but death is always there, watching, waiting. Not in the way you imagine, not as a dark-robed figure wielding a scythe, not as a sudden merciless force that strikes without warning. No, death is far more patient than that. It does not need to chase you. It simply follows, step by step, never far, never hurried. It lingers in the spaces between your thoughts, in the stillness of an empty room, in the quiet moments you don't pay attention to. It stands in doorways as you pass, watching. It sits beside you as you dream, silent. It moves like a shadow, never touching, never interfering, yet always present. You have felt it before, even if you never recognized it. The way time slips through your fingers, impossible to hold. The way nostalgia aches, like mourning a past life you can never return to. The way an old photograph stirs something deep inside you. Not just a memory, but a whisper of something lost, something that no longer exists. That is death. That is its presence, subtle yet undeniable, reminding you that everything you love, everything you are, is already fading. But death is not your enemy. It does not arrive with malice, nor does it wish to steal from you. It does not hate, does not hunger, does not plot. It simply is. A force older than time itself, existing long before you took your first breath and waiting long after your last. You were never truly alone. From the moment you opened your eyes to this world, death has been at your side, patient, unwavering. It does not rush you, nor does it delay. It has no need for haste, because it knows that all things in time come to it willingly. And if you listen, if you truly listen, you might hear it speak, not in words, but in feeling. A quiet voice pressing against the edges of your awareness, whispering, "Do you understand now? Do you see how fragile you are? Do you realize that every moment is a gift, not a guarantee?" Most people spend their lives trying to ignore this presence, pretending it isn't there. They drown it out with distractions, with noise, with the illusion of permanence. They build walls of routine, of denial, hoping to keep death at bay. But death does not need to force its way in. It is already inside, woven into the very fabric of your existence. But the ones who see, the ones who acknowledge death, who feel its presence and do not turn away, are the ones who understand what it truly means to live. Because to know that death is with you, always, is to know that every moment counts. Every word spoken, every touch, every sunrise, every breath, it is all fleeting, all passing. And that is not a tragedy. That is what makes it beautiful. As we delve deeper into this dance with death, we must confront a powerful truth. Death is not an end, but a transformation, a cycle that unfolds infinitely. It is not the final curtain falling on the stage of life, but a doorway opening into something new. We often perceive death as a terrifying abyss, the ultimate conclusion to our existence. Yet, in reality, it is a transition. Just as the seasons shift from winter to spring, just as the sun sets only to rise again, so too does our existence weave through a tapestry of beginnings and endings. Every moment of your life is a testament to this cycle, where what you once were must pass away to make room for what is yet to come. Think about it. The person you were yesterday is already dead. That version of you, with its hopes, fears, and experiences, has faded into the past, leaving behind only memories. Each day, you shed the skin of your former self, allowing new aspects of your being to emerge. Just as the leaves fall from the trees, making way for new growth, you too are in a constant state of dying and being reborn. Cells within your body die and regenerate continuously. Old identities crumble away, and new ones take their place. The childhood you left behind, the teenager you once were, the adult you are becoming, each phase is a life unto itself, each filled with lessons and experiences that shape who you are. The question is not if you will die, it's who you will become. The real beauty of this existence lies in the understanding that death does not mark the end, but rather the opportunity to transform. It is a chance to rise anew, to evolve into something greater than before. In this way, death becomes not something to fear, but a guide, a gentle reminder that life is in constant flux. Every breath is an invitation to embrace change, to let go of the past, and to welcome the new. You are not merely living to die, you are living to become. So, as death breathes down your neck, consider this. Instead of viewing it as a harbinger of doom, see it as a companion on your journey, a reminder that every moment spent in fear of the end is a moment taken away from the beauty of becoming. Embrace the cycle. Allow yourself to die in one form so that you may rise in another. After all, life is not about avoiding death. It is about understanding the dance between the two. As we conclude this exploration into the shadows of existence, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on your own relationship with death. If death is always beside you, whispering in your ear, what is it trying to tell you? What secrets lie hidden in those hushed breaths, in the gentle reminders of your own mortality? Are you listening to its call, or are you turning away, caught up in the distractions of daily life? Consider the weight of each moment. How often do you find yourself postponing dreams, putting off conversations, or neglecting the beauty of now, convinced you have time? What if today was the day you chose to embrace the truth of your existence? What if you allowed the presence of death to guide you, to inspire you to live more fully? Perhaps it's time to ask yourself, what do you want to create before your time is up? What version of yourself are you ready to shed? And who do you wish to become?